Alright. Okay, good to go. Yes, on the day you're referring to. Wait, why is it on auto? Alright. Yes, on the day you're referring to, the wife and I did have a bit of a skirmish. Can't recall the reason now. Knocked the candlestick over the set of fire, and set fire to the carpet as soon as I had it out though, and got to the window open. Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find to throw at him. Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I'd notice if one or two went missing, I'm afraid. If the bally thing in the victim's back really was one of ours, you'll have a job proving it, I think. Sounds as though it was quite the battlefield in your household that evening. Although an entirely one-sided assault, it seems. The enemy caught us on the hop, sir. Had no choice but to dig in and take defensive measures. To be honest, If the enemy had kept trailing us for another minute, we'd have been toast. Of course, a veteran such as myself is only too aware that on every battlefield you're just like a gnat's whisker from the death at any moment. Are we still talking about Marshal Quall here? Well, I must say I'm dubious that this testimony will shed any light on the origins of this jackknife. In combat, one's focus narrows such that surroundings are barely noticed. The witness may not be able to offer anything more than they have testified already. This may be a dead end. Van Six may well be right. Well, whatever the chances, we only have this last cross-examination to uncover the truth, Mr. Narhondo. Yes, I'm afraid so. Very well, Consel. Begin your cross-examination. Guess on the day I'm referring to, the wife and I did have a habit of smurf. Hold it! The reason is what you told us yesterday, I believe. Yes, that's right. If I remember correctly, it all started because of a note that was tucked into the pages of a book belonging to Mr. Garrett. Rather passionate note, in fact. But Mrs. Garrett found the note discovering her husband's little secret. And she gave him a mighty number of slaps across the face for it, too. What a sordid state of affairs. Hell on earth. I say, when a chap says he can't recall such things, it's common decency not to drag it all up. And besides, half of it was wide the mark anyway. A likely story. These waters run very deep. And what transpired next after the multiple blows to the face? Knocked the candlestick candle set on fire. The carpet soon had it out, though, and got for the window. And the fire also spread some items of furniture, didn't it? The case, my armchair, anything of mine, really. Just so happens there was some bathwater around that evening, so I sloshed it about and put it out. A most prejudiced situation you put yourself in. Ours is a three-story townhouse at the west side of the street, where the water main isn't connected yet. Had to draw water from the public water pump during the day if you need any. You see, the lodgers are always moaning that they can't get any water at night. Although that little mustache Japanese man buys water in bottles, I believe. The defendant, Mr. Natsumi, you mean? Yes, he receives a stipend for his duties, you know, from his home country. Can you imagine being able to brew a pot of tea at all hours? He's obviously very well off. Have you actually seen the state of the man? I believe he uses all of his income to buy books. Well, anyway, the point is I was able to douse the fire with water, fortunately enough. Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find for her. Even though the room was on fire. As far as I was concerned at the time. It was more important to extinguish my anger than the flames. When a woman wants to throw, she must throw. It is most certainly not true of a societal takedown, Mr. Naruhondo. How did she know I was thinking of that? So, please cast your mind back and try to remember. Was a knife among the items that you threw at your husband that day? In all honesty, I don't recall. But I feel I must point out that I'm no monster. Let me see.
By Jupiter!
Let me see. Some bread, a cabbage garlic, a towel, and a sponge, a napkin.
Excuse me!
Excuse me. Do you have something to add, sir? Mr. Gaydeb. Don't shoot. Sorry. I beg your pardon. Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind? Nothing of any significance, no. Just the barrage of projectiles the old thing launched in my direction was somewhat more solid than she implies. Books, bricks, and the fireboker, I seem to recall. Ouch. And the woman's aim is uncanny. She landed. Good grief, woman. We're not at home. This is a court of law. What did he say? She landed a direct hit with every volley. Oh, dearie me. Ever so sorry, dear. What's she doing with a teapot in here? Honestly, John, I would never have thrown such things at you, obviously. Well, take a look at this, then. How do you suppose that happened, hmm? Your pipe, sir? Had this thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out of with one of her soft projectiles. She did. Yeah, yes. And when I went to pick it up, the thing, it was broken in two. I'd like to see a sponge do that sort of damage. I see. Your pipe was broken. Yeah, your pipe was broken. It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Anyway, I've managed to bandage the thing up for now. You're one to exaggerate, aren't you, dear? I wonder what we should make of this account. Could be important. The defense believes Mr. Garedeb's remark just now to be of great significance.
Objection!
This war veteran's words only tell us one thing: betray a fiercey wife, and pipes as well as hearts may be broken. Sentimental wisdom, perhaps, but hardly worthy of adding to the formal testimony. Indeed, common sense, one might say. Might one? In that case, would you at least permit us to examine the pipe, sir? Well, I don't see why not. Oh, dearie me. There you go again, trying to integrate yourself with a young lady. Very well. Court will accept the gentleman's pipe as evidence. Pipe it up. Mr. Garedeb's pipe, apparently it fell on the floor during the domestic dispute he had with his wife and broke. I hope I didn't speak out of turn, Mr. Naruhondo. I was just feeling rather disappointed for you that your request was turned down. Oh, no, it's fine. Thanks to Sato-san, we had some new evidence to work with. We should examine it carefully. Well, thank you for that. But thank you for that rebuttal, Mr. Gaydeb. Now, if we could return to the crux of the matter. What can you tell the court about the knife used to attack the victim? Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I noticed one or two of them went missing, I'm afraid. Sorry. Would you care to elaborate? Nothing to say, really. Rather partial to the spot of craving, you see. Pipes and whatnot. Fishing tackle. You know the sort of thing. It's a passion we both share. I like to carve little wooden trinkets too. And then there's my level work. Sorry to say, we're always losing knives about the place. And we have a dozen of things. They sell them at the market sometimes. 20. They sell them at the market sometimes. 20 for the price of 19. Needless to say, I snapped them up. John prefers to use two knives. John prefers to use two knives at meal times too, instead of a knife and fork. Now, Joan, we don't want people thinking I'm some kind of savage. Here we go again with the scandalings. Why are they being so evasive? I imagine it's because they don't want to believe it. They can't bear the thought that it might have been one of their knives that injured the victim. Which is entirely understandable, of course, but still. Go on with your testimony, witnesses. Sir. That belly thing in the victim's back really was one of ours. You'll have a job proving it, I think. So, you have no intention of admitting it was your knife unless we can produce proof. Even though there is no other credible possibility of Mr. Natsumi if Mr. Natsumi is innocent.
Objection!
You forget, my Nipponese friend, that it has yet to be established that the accused is not responsible for the attack. As if I could forget. If only there was some way to know who had handled the knife. But I suppose wizardry like this is just a dream. Perhaps you're thinking of finger painting, Mr. Naruhondo. What? You mean it's not a dream? That sort of wizardry really exists? Whenever people... Wait, what? Whenever people touch anything, they leave behind a unique pattern from their skin, or so they say. But I can't see anything. There are already countries in the world where these so-called fingerprints can be used as evidence. Lord Strongheart is currently discussing the matter at the Ministry of Justice. Yes, I believe we are rapidly approaching an era of scientific methods of investigation. What year does this game take place? But for now, we shall have we shall have to find an alternative method of proving our assertion. At this knife found in the victim found in the that this knife found in the victim's back was originally in Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's house. Ugh. If only I could transplant this whole incident to several years in the future. That's the extent of the testimony, is it? What do you think, Mr. Narando? Well, I think we've heard all this before, to be honest. I can't say I'm practically confident that we'll be able to prove anything new from this testimony. But in this cross-examination, it's absolutely essential that we establish how this knife came to be at the scene of the incident. Yes, I know. I'm sure both of them must be feeling very worried. Worried that it was the fact of the knife belonging to one of them that caused the victim's injury. If you could find a tiny shred of shred of evidence to support that theory, it would clinch this trial for us. It would explain everything. Yes, it would. So for Soseki-san's sake, we must find that last crucial piece of evidence. Yes, on the day of referring to the wife, and I did have a bit of a skirmish. Control now. Let the candlestick over the set of fire to the carpet. Soon headed out, though, and cut to the window open. Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find to throw at him. Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I noticed if one or two went missing. Oh, look here, Mr. Arhando. Just at the tip. A small piece of blade appears to be missing. You're right. Where's Bottomist Sasato? I wonder what could have happened to it. Yes. You don't think it could still be lodged in the victim, do you? Oh dear, I hope not. That sounds terribly painful. Oh, hello. Oh. Something just twinkled at the chamber of the pipe there. Yes, I saw it. Something stuck in there, I think. Let's turn it over and give it a shake. What's this? It's a tiny fragment of metal. Ooh. It looks like the tip of a blade or something. The tip of a blade. Surely it couldn't be. The fragment of metal has been entered in the quarter. Okay. Alright. I think we have our evidence. a small piece of metal. Looks like it might be the tip of a knife blade. It was stuck inside the bowl of Mr. Garedep's pipe. The bally thing in the victim's back really was one of ours. You'll have a job proving it, I think. I'll just have to save here just to be extra careful.
Objection!
Mr. Garedep, could I ask you to take a good look at this, please? You can ask, but I can't see a bally thing. You can't? You used to call me, Decidueye Deb. Back in the retirement, of course. But that was some time ago now. Even when I'm trying to enjoy a large print book by the fire these days. I struggle to tell a B from a D and a P from a Q, to be honest. Oh, he does, dearie me. It's rather wearing being asked about every other letter and every other word. You must be very dusty. I hate this. What is that? A tiny scrap of metal? Yes, almost certainly from the tip of a blade. And what many appear at first to be just a tiny scrap is in fact a crucial piece of evidence. Interesting. And where did the defense come by this evidence? It was lodged in the chamber of Mr. Garedep's pipe. My pipe, you say? By Jove, I wonder how that got there. And what precisely does this fragment of metal signify, Consul? Are you suggesting that it in some way related to the matter of the stabbing on Brea Road? I am. What? When you put together with another piece of evidence already in the court record, I believe this tiny fragment of metal will unravel the whole truth of this case, my lord. You appear rather confident in that extraordinary statement, Consul. Very well then. Pertinent evidence to the court. What evidence, when paired with this fragment of metal, allegedly reveals the truth of this entire case? That's easy. The jackknife.
Take that!
This is the knife that was found in the victim's back. If you look closely, you'll see that there is a small piece of smeece at the tip of the blade that is missing. Hold on one moment. Okay, Mac. A common issue with inferior blades sold at unsavory street markets. Criminals use them regularly to leave the tips lodged in their victims' bones. And what of this particular knife? No doubt its tip has suffered a similar fate. Now, languishing somewhere near the spine of the victim.
Objection!
No, that's not the case. The tip of the particular knife's blade is the very fragment of metal we discovered on the chamber of Mr. Garrideb's pipe. Ah! Ugh. Good grief, Lord Vantix. I don't believe it. A knife from the crime scene and this fragment of metal. A perfect match. Good golly gosh! Order! Is this some sort of Eastern sorcery? This is no magic, my lord. This is a miracle. Ooh, a miracle. That sounds familiar. A miracle? Miracle is possible. All you gotta do is make it so. So Von Six has figured it out, has he? Quintel, explain this extraordinary coincidence at once. Yes, my lord. The crucial point we have to ask ourselves here is when did the fragment of metal find its way inside Mr. Garrideb's pipe? Something that was clarified for us in the most recent witness testimony. I had this thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it out clean with one of her soft projectiles. Yes, she did. It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by a pretty solid. Oh, dear me. During the argument between these two that occurred just as the victim was on the pavement below, Mrs. Garrideb flung this knife at her husband. However, the knife missed Mr. Garrideb, instead striking the pipe in his hand at the time, which caused the tip to break off, of course. Good lord! Yes, and that is when the tiny tip of the blade found its way inside Mr. Garrideb's pipe. The chances of that are 1,000,000 to 1. And yet there's no other credible explanation for how the tip of the blade ended up in your pipe. Then, after losing its tip, the knife ricocheted off the pipe and flew out of the open window. Ah! In short, the knife which fell from the window of the Garrideb's house is the very same knife that struck the victim in the middle of the back on the street below. Oh gosh! Oh dear! Oh no!
Objection!
A full-bodied theory, I give you that. A complex bouquet of seemingly trivial points plotting arranged to create an almost passable vintage. Allow me to toast my learned friend's characteristically Nipponese approach to bottling his argument. Sorry. But after all, it is just a theory. A game theory. The bottle, I fear, is corked. Because you see, It's blocked by an immeasurable inconsistencies. And irreversible. What? Mold 6, explain yourself. What is this inconsistency you claim to have identified? Inconsistency of the simplest nature, my lord. The victim is found with the knife planted in the middle of her back. Yes, in her... Ah! That's right, you silly little man. Now, Joan, old thing, what are you getting excited about? Let us consider the basic facts at once more. The victim was walking along the pavement before being stabbed in the back and falling to the ground. If the knife that struck her had fallen from above, there's no possible way it could have planted itself into the victim's back. Gah! Order! Order! Quite right. You see, that's exactly right. If the knife had fallen on from above, it would have struck on top of her head. Well, So I lost for words. Look! I knew it. I never liked this theory in the first place. I don't know though, what really did happen. It appears the defense has made rather a spectacular blunder. If a theory has even one inconsistency, it cannot stand. Your theory, my learned friend, is history. We were so close. I could see the truth. I was so sure we were on the right track. But now, the way has been blocked completely by just one simple inconsistency. In other words, we simply need to eliminate that one inconsistency and the theory will stand. Mr. Sato, you mustn't worry, Mr. Narhando. You were just caught off guard, that's all. And your mind went blank. But if the path you were on is indeed correct, then a way will present itself. The key to this is in the court record. I'm sure all the information you need is there. It seems you have nothing to say, my Nipponese friend. Well, your silence speaks volumes. A tacit acceptance to that your theory is fatally flawed.
Objection!
This inconsistency doesn't mean I was on the wrong. It means that I need to sharpen my mind and dig deeper for the truth. It's a test. Yes. If the knife fell from the victim above, there's no way that it could hit her in the middle of the back. Under the normal circumstances, that is. What are you implying? Gonzale, there's a piece of evidence in the court record that can explain the inconsistency. That can explain how the knife that fell from above could have pierced the victim's back. We already have the answer. Goodness. Utter madness. Surely this must be the last time. Gonzale, present the evidence of which you speak. This is the last inconsistency, the final piece in the puzzle. If I can successfully make sense of this, the truth would be laid bare at last. The evidence that explains how the falling knife became lodged in the victim's back is... Oh, whoops. How long have I been streaming? Almost an hour, okay. The evidence that explains how the falling knife became lodged in the victim's back is... Still the border of the rundowns, middle of Great Road. Early 20s, pavement of Brea Road, east side. The victim remains unconscious. Her name was clean. Other details unknown. Apart from signs apart from a single stab wound from the large knife, no other signs of injury observed. The assailant was seen running away. The reporting officer was successfully on holiday. Okay, not this. The evidence explains the falling knife became lodged. Explains how the falling knife became lodged into the victim's back is... The picture? The book? Not this, definitely. I can't help but feel like it's the picture. That's what my instinct is telling me. Let's go with it. This is the final piece of evidence the defense will present. That answer appeared to make Mr. Garrett rather lightheaded. But Mrs. Garrett didn't bat an eyelid. It would seem you've cut down in your prime. Uh-oh. You should watch out for your blades falling from the heavens, my learned friend. They must strike at any time. Ah! Not what you want to hear from the Reaper. The knife fell straight down and hit the victim in the middle of her back. And her back must have been facing the heavens at the time. Yeah, then wouldn't it be the photo? But why could have happened that might... But what could have happened that might place her in that position? It had to... Like, what is the evidence here? The picture makes no sense here. Is it the second photo? I guess the second... I mean, yeah, I guess the second photo makes more sense then.
Take that!
Yeah. This, the fourth book found at the scene. This is the final piece of evidence of the defense will present. The burnt book. Is that not Mr. Gaydeb's book? Yes. And to understand its significance, we have to consider how it came to be at the scene in the first place. This photographic print clearly shows the book in question, and the victim holding it in her hand. But as well as we all know, it was the police constable that put the book between her fingers like that. Quite so. As part of his wholesale transplanting of the crime scene to the opposite side of the road. That's true. However, as part of his testimony, Constable Beat made an extremely enlightening statement on that point. He did say that he found the victim like that, from what I remember. What made you place the book in the victim's hand? Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. When we first ran over the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand. Okay. In other words, the victim had already picked the book up of her own volition. And clearly, that must have been before she suffered the knife wound. Well, I should say so. After being attacked with a knife, I don't imagine she'd been doing much of anything. See, the question becomes, why did the victim have that book in her hand? By Shingo! I think I'm beginning to see what may have happened now. Oh, dearie me. We know that the book fell from the top of the floor of the Gaydeb household, onto the pavement below, at precisely the moment that the victim was walking past. Yes, at exactly that moment, the young woman was walking along the street in the light fog. When all of a sudden, a book fell right in front of her. The book I threw. Yes, Mrs. Gaydeb. And what do you think the woman did? What would you do if you were walking along and suddenly a book landed in front of you on the pavement? Well, I really can't imagine it, but I suppose she might have reached down and picked the book up. Yes, that is exactly what the woman in fact did. She picked up the book. Oh heavens! And when the woman reached down to pick the fallen book up, what position would her back have been in? That's right, facing the sky, completely and utterly defenseless. Then, in the very moment, while the woman was still bent over picking up the book, The next object that fell from the room above, the jackknife, straight into the middle of her back. And at the same time, walking by directly behind Miss Green, was the defendant, Mr. Sasaki Natsumi. Well, I'd never. It appeared to Mr. Natsumi that the woman simply collapsed on the floor. In the dark and the fog, he didn't see the knife falling on her from above. Ugh. And from the other direction, the constable and his wife saw no one other but the victim and her apparent attacker. The constable and his wife saw no one but the victim and her apparent attacker. So there never was a real culprit to run from the scene in the first place. No, this was nothing more than a series of unlikely events that accumulated in an unfortunate accident. And that is the real truth behind this case. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Gadeb? The very first time you showed me that knife, I had my suspicions. I wondered if perhaps it might have been something like that. There, old bean. Poor Mrs. Gadeb. Of course, I never meant for anything of the sort to happen, but it was all my fault, wasn't it? I take full responsibility. I let my anger get the better of me. I threw that book, and I threw the knife as well. John, dear. It's alright. I know. I'm ever so sorry. Truly. I'm sorry! Lord Vantix, what news of Mrs. Gadeb? She's been taken to the infirmary. It would appear that today's events have left her in an especially flustered state. However, I believe that she will recover in due course. There is no cause for concern. Yes, unbeknownst to themselves, they caused what could easily have been a terrible tragedy. They shall have to prepare themselves for the consequences of their actions. There is some good news, however, my lord. I've just heard word from the hospital where the victim is being treated. Her condition is improving steadily, and the doctor believes she will regain consciousness soon. It's strange. We've been talking about the victim in all this time, but we've never once met her. How wonderful. The woman is out of danger, it seems. Yes, that is good news. So, Mr. Sasaki Natsumi. Yes. On behalf of my fellow countrymen, I would like to take the opportunity to beg your pardon, sir. You came from a distant eastern homeland to study our Great Britain culture, and have been repaid with immeasurable unkindness. Please accept our heartfelt apologies. No, it is me who should be begging your pardon. Oh no, Mr. Natsumi. That evening, when the young woman just collapsed on the pavement before my eyes, I jumped to the wrong conclusion again in my confusion. What conclusion, sir? I was sure that the woman was dead. Yes, Constable Pete said the same thing, didn't he? He thought she had been killed too. I suppose she must have looked completely lifeless. It's been about a year since I arrived in Great Britain, but I still can't get used to this life here. I can't relax. I'm sure there are evil spirits lurking in the fog, like they're haunting me. Poor Saseki-san. His imagination really has got the better of him. Yes, poor man. So, what had happened? I thought the young woman had been taken by the fog spirits. I should never have dropped my books like that and run away. I should have collapsed for help, for a doctor, for the police. Instead, I've managed to create a rift in the relationship of trust between our two empires. And for that, I am truly sorry. One can indeed say that some sort of mischievous spirit has been at work here, I think. One that created a chain of unfortunate mishaps. We were fooled by the spirit and led to false conclusions. But thanks to Lord Van Six and our young lawyer here from the east, that chain has now been broken and the spirit exorcised. I hereby command you both. Oh! Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Yes, my lord. In concluding this trial, I must ask one last thing for your decision regarding the defendant's culpability. Are you ready to present your findings to the court? As the foreman of the jury, I can assure you we've reached a fair and just conclusion. I do declare the truth can be extremely cruel at times. Well, I didn't suspect the woman next to me, that's for sure. So, well, the old bean while she's out for action, you know. But I know what her decision would be. Does this mean I'll finally be able to get out of here and start work? Well, it's about time. I say, I'll have a cocker of a story to tell the grandchildren when I get home, won't I? Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby demand your final decisions. Mr. Foreman?
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Very well, Mr. Sosuke Natsume, I hereby pronounce you not guilty. Shut up. And finally, Mr. Natsume. Oh, yes, Lord Sir. You're now a free man once more. It is my hope that you will continue to further your education in British culture. And may you never again be brought before me. Oh, yes, sir, of course. On my life, I swear I'll never set foot in the courtroom again. I'm transported to tears. Thank you, Gonzales. Court is adjourned. Oh, Locum. Wait, you mean me? Of course! Is there another Locum here? Is there even one? Compared to the original Locum student, Mr. Narando Squire, your name has become rather short, hasn't it? What's wrong with using my actual name? Oh, at last, I'm free! I'm free! Joyful, joyous, jailment, jubilation! Heady, hearty, happiness, hurrah! Oh, I am pleased. Mr. Natsumi's delighted. It'd be so hard to just say that then. Locum, you did it. You saved me from the brink. Well, what happened to the poor woman was no way your fault after all. I'm just glad everyone can see that now. No, not that. Lovely, loyal, Locum, lawyer. Yes? I mean, as I said before, I just never got used to life here in Great Britain. Every time I look over my shoulder, I see foreigners, I see towering brick buildings. And from high up windows, I see them looking down at me, laughing. Look at the little hunchback. Oh dear. I'm sure it's all in your head, Mr. Natsumi. But today, you, Locum lawyer, gave my gloom the boot. You stood firm behind the barstool bench before all those babbling British. You battled to the bitter end, laying your bare and baffling truth. And when I beheld the blinding fireworks among the beams of Bailey's roof, I bellowed, "Behold, the beast! Barrister ever born!" Well, that's very flattering, and we're very pleased for you. This has me a wonderful antidote to recount to my old friends back in Japan. An antidote? Is that what's to become of all my hard work? There you are, my dear fellows. I apologize for keeping you waiting. I rose late this morning. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, what a pleasure to see you. I see. I'm here, but I'm here not a moment too soon. A disaster has been averted, I'm glad to say. Oh? The trial shall begin presently, Mr. Narhando, and I wish you the very best of luck. It just finished. What? No. Then my haste was in vain? Ah, it's you, Herlock Sholmes. Oh, have we met, sir? This is Mr. Natsumi, the man you arrested, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, I see. I failed to recognize you at first. Previous encounters have taken place in the gloom, either of your bleak loadings or that prison cell. I simply couldn't place that curious face in the light. Charming. This is all your fault, Herlock Sholmes. You're the reason I had to go through this terrible ordeal. I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. My apologies, sir, but I assure you, I have placed you now. You're the fellow who abandoned that poor young lady and ran off, are you not? Had she been taken to the hospital more urgently, I feel perhaps she would have regained consciousness by now. Oh! But it was unavoidable, I'm sure. We are but human after all. Anyone would have been shaken by such an experience. I do feel very badly about what I behaved. Well, never mind then. Now then, what was it that you wanted to say to me, sir? Nothing. Priceless. Oh, I'm sorry, really, but it was quite priceless. Poor Soseki-san. Still, on the bright side, you've had an extremely entertaining experience without paying a penny. It would seem you were not even found guilty. But there is no bright side. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Natsumi? Even after this, I'm still cursed by the spirits, and now by the Reaper. Ah, Lord Van Six. I haven't forgotten, you know. what facing that man in court means. Even if you're found not guilty, you're still doomed. It'll be alright, Mr. Natsumi. Hmm? If the Reaper appears trying to make trouble, I will protect you. Hiya! With a perfectly executed Susato takedown. Much as I like to be turned on my head a bit of a warning next time, Mr. Sato. So, Mr. Natsumi, what do you intend to do now? You mentioned something about recounting your experiences to your friends back in Japan. Yes, I intend to return to my homeland soon. Oh. It's already been a year since I arrived here in Great Britain. I visited Unsavory Liberties bookshops. I've been honored with the tutelage of professors. I've learned so much about the wealth of literature here and the city it has shaped. And I've come to realize that in my calling to sail home and tell my fellow countrymen about it. It's very touching, Mr. Natsumi. Or, in perhaps less veiled terms, you wish to withdraw halfway around the world to escape the terror of the Reaper's curse. That's not it at all. The more I learn of literature, the more this strange feeling claws at my insides. I feel compelled to return to my roots and attempt to pen a work of my own. Oh, I see. Work of literature by Soseki-san. Could be an interesting read. And what about Mr. Sato-san and yourself, Mr. Narando? Sorry, what about us? Will you return to Japan alongside your mustache compatriot? Why would we? A week has not passed yet since we arrived in London. And only now does it feel as though we finally found our feet. And you are competent in a hotel at present, are you not? That's right, but we need to find lodgings before it bankrupts us. I've calculated we can only afford another 10 nights before our entire budget is exhausted. Well then, you could take my lodgings. Oh, the windowless room. But what it lacks in windows, it more than makes up for a floor with a ceiling and walls. Great. And of course, I'd be happy to leave behind the accursed evil spirit. Oh my, an evil spirit? Oh yes. It tries to suffocate you while you sleep. It's inflammable wake-up call. We'll think about it, if that's alright. Perhaps I can offer a more welcome alternative. Would you consider taking lodgings with me? Really? Well, vacancy has convincingly presented itself. Though it is up in the attic, I might add. Are you sure it isn't just a storage loft? I spoke with the landlady this very morning on the matter of price, and Iris is cleaning the room as we speak. You must come at once. I presume you have no luggage to speak of? Oh, this is simply wonderful. What an honor to be invited to taking the lodgings of the great detective's office. I'm too overcome for words. So suggesting we look elsewhere is out then. Then it's settled. I shall prepare a welcome dinner this evening. And you must come too, Mr. Natsumi. I insist. I don't know what to say, but thank you. And yes. Wonderful. And I'll go complete the paperwork for your formal release, Mr. Natsumi. It shan't take long. Somebody's happy. Locum, I knew that you wouldn't let me down. I'm truly delighted to have met you here in London. Likewise, Mr. Natsumi. It's been a privilege meeting you, too. It's a shame that we're going to have to say goodbye so soon. Well, I've come to realize that I belong in Japan. But Locum, we'll meet again one day. Yes, I'm sure. And hopefully by then, I'll be a successful lawyer. Hopefully by then, I'll be a successful author. Well, my dear fellow, our carriage appears to have arrived. Shall we go, Mr. Narhondo? Yes, Mr. Sholmes. I have little doubts Mr. Natsumi will be released in time for dinner this evening. And so, Mr. Soki-san's innocence successfully established. We rode with Mr. Sholmes to what was to become our new home, 22 1B Baker Street. So this is to be our new office, yes. Our office. I ever like the sound of that. Me too. It's simply wonderful, isn't it? I hope you can see this, Kazuma. It's only a small step. But I'd like to think we're getting a little closer to your dream now. So, my dear fellows, do you like the place? Mr. Sholmes, yes, thank you so much. It's a delightful room, Mr. Sholmes. I simply adore it. Good, I'm pleased to hear it. Iris and I are delighted to welcome you. I hope everyone's hungry. It's nearly time for dinner. As soon as Mr. Natsumi arrives, we have a lot to celebrate. Iris, you must let me help you. Alright then, Susie. You can be in charge of the salad. Splendid! So, Mr. Narhondo, how does it feel to have your own office in the capital? It's very exciting, actually. I can't help wondering what adventures await us. Those were precisely my sentiments when I first established my office at these premises. Until I discovered the dark truth about the city of London, that is. Sorry. London is a glorious place full of wonder, opportunity, prosperity, and mirth. But the brightest of lights casts the darkest of shadows. Shadows? What do you mean? Well, I believe you're well aware of murkiness that lies behind London's facade already. So, once again, Mr. Narhondo, Welcome to London. Of course, at the time, I had no idea the significance of those words Mr. Sherman so casually spoke. But it wasn't long before my turn came to lift the facade and see the true depth of the murk that lay behind it. Okay. I shall now